Remember that time you couldn't afford Disney's most expensive options?
Today, we are talking about the most expensive things in Walt Disney World.
Walt Disney World is already so expensive, but we are talking about things that you can't even believe until you see them.
I can't afford this in Disney World.
Money, money, money.
Quincy can't afford this in Disney World.
Money!
Who can afford this in Disney World?
There are a handful of different specialty hotel rooms.
There's the Castle Suite. There are presidential suites at many of the resorts.
And I don't mean suites like S-W-E-E-T-S, because you can find that at the confectionery. I'm talking about the sweet life of Zach and Cody.
There are the bungalows, which go onto the water at the Polynesian. There's some really special cabins that you could stay at Disney's Wilderness Lodge.
The bungalows are absolutely spectacular. They are so beautiful, and if I could stay anywhere, it probably would be there.
The bungalows at the Polynesian are very expensive. Those are the little bungalows that are outside on the lake, on the lagoon, outside next to the beach.
They are anywhere from $2,700 to $5,000 a night. You thought I was gonna say a week. No, I'm gonna say a night because it's per night.
But they're really, really special rooms. You've got 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. It sleeps up to 8 people, and there's a full kitchen, plunge pool on the deck, and the best views of Magic Kingdom that you can basically get.
I remember really wanting to stay at one of the bungalows at the Polynesian for my honeymoon. And it took like one look at the price, and I'm like, okay, well, our whole honeymoon could just be one night here.
Other $2,000 plus Disney guest rooms are things like the Steeplechase Suite at Disney's Boardwalk Inn.
You've got Presidential Suite at Contemporary Resort, and there's a Royal Asante Suite at Animal Kingdom Lodge,
which is like my dream room at Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge. I'm pretty sure that Simu Liu stayed in the Asante Suite when he was here to do Candlelight Processional over the holidays, because on his Instagram story, it looked like they were in the Royal Asante Suite. And it's not weird that I know that or that I looked into it, but that's what it looked like.
The Castle Suite, which is literally located in Cinderella Castle. Like, you can stay in the Magic Kingdom. You can spend the night in the Magic Kingdom.
For the Cinderella Castle Suite, you actually can't pay for that at all.
There's no possible way for anyone to say, hey, I want to stay in the Castle Suite, I'll pay whatever it takes. They don't even do that. The only way that you can get into the Castle Suite to even see it, you have to be invited by Disney themselves.
That's like one of my Disney bucket list items, is just to step inside the Castle Suite in person. I have seen pictures of it, I've seen video, I've seen all the pictures and video of it that there are pretty much, but I have never personally been in the Castle Suite.
No, I've never stayed in a special or one-of-a-kind Disney room. I've never even come close to it. My parents and I felt very lucky to even get to stay in a standard room at the Grand Floridian. That was a huge splurge for us.
No. The most special I've stayed at, and I know it's not one of the ones that we're really specifically talking about, but is a safari view room at Animal Kingdom Lodge. That was very, very cool. I would consider that special, even if it's not like staying at Cinderella Castle.
Do I think it's fair that these special hotel rooms cost a bunch of money? Kinda.
If in 15 years, for some reason, I'm super rich, then maybe. Or what if I get elected president? Then obviously I'm gonna stay in the presidential suite. So, if I get elected president, then yes.
When we were growing up, my brother or me or my dad would be like, oh, who would pay for that? Or who would buy that? Who would do that? My papa would always say, rich people gotta buy something too. And I think that applies here. Rich people need something too. They need some nice rooms to spend their money on, and so sure.
Where is my fairy godmother?
Dining, that's another thing that can put a hole in your wallet.
Any dining at Disney World is not cheap. Let's just start off by saying that right off the bat. Even quick service is not exactly a cheap experience. However, there are a few specialty restaurants that are going to give you truly 5-star dining experience, and you are paying the price for it.
Cannot talk about special dining experiences in Disney World without talking about Victoria and Albert's. This is the creme de la creme of Disney World restaurants.
It has a AAA 5-diamond rating.
That is top of the top. That is as good as it gets. fine dining.
Yeah, it is literally one of the most exclusive dining experiences in Florida.
Any place that serves cheese for dessert, now you know that's bougie. Cheese for dessert? Pinkies out.
Quincy and I went on a very wonderful date there to eat and talk about our experience to you. We both had a really wonderful time.
And if you want to see what our experience was like, you can watch our video on the channel of our Victorian Alberts review. It was a stunning experience, incredibly almost overwhelming with how like lush and luxury it felt to eat there. I think it definitely feels like it costs as much as it does. It feels worth the price.
Pinkies out.
It's great. If you love that kind of stuff, if you love being really, really super fancy and like pretending that you're in Pretty Woman and you're like a regular person coming into like fancy people world and you want to get your finger snapped in a jewelry box while you're wearing a nice red velvet dress, then this is the place for you.
The next fine dining happens over in Epcot in the France Pavilion, and it is Monsieur Paul.
Monsieur Paul. Yeah, Monsieur Paul.
I learned, the whole video I called it Monsieur Paul, okay, because of the way that it's spelled, but you say it Monsieur.
Monsieur Paul.
Monsieur Paul. If you really want to get, why don't you tell me to say it like that? Monsieur Paul.
Ho ho. Ho ho. Oh no, that's terrible. Ooh.
And Monsieur Paul is a high-end French cuisine experience.
$195 per person for the standard menu.
Which, in the grand scheme of fine dining, I don't think is horrible, especially because this one is a menu that features really high-end French ingredients and French cuisine.
And also a prefix. These fancy meals are typically a prefix. The chef's gonna design your menu. You don't have to make many choices.
And it's a 5-course meal.
Very French cooking, lots of butter, lots of bread, cheese. It's a very, very delicious meal. I enjoyed it a lot. To me, of the 3 hyper expensive meals in Disney World, Monsieur Paul was my least favorite, although possibly the one that I would recommend the most because I think it would appeal to most tastes.
Then there's Takumi Tay, which actually just recently reopened in the Japan Pavilion over at Epcot. This is going to be a multi-course meal as well, and they have an omnivorous menu as well as a plant-based menu. By menu, it is a prefix meal, so you are getting multi-course options, but you can choose between the 2 in case you are a plant-based eater.
Switching gears a little bit, we're gonna head across the country to Disneyland, and we're going to talk about 21 Royal.
So when Walt Disney envisioned Disneyland Park, one small component of that dream was a private escape within the park where Walt and his wife Lillian could entertain family, friends, dignitaries, celebrities, you name it. They wanted a place where they could entertain those people and kind of schmooze them and kind of show off.
Unfortunately, that space wasn't completed before his death, but the design did remain, and that's how 21 Royal was created. So this is a very exclusive space in the heart of New Orleans Square that's available for private dining events.
Now, anyone who can afford the space can book it. It is a $15,000 experience
with a maximum party of 12.
You hear that sound?
It's a multi-course meal, okay? You can watch Fantasmic. It's right above New Orleans Square, okay? Literally. Right above Pirates of the Caribbean.
I mean, that has to be the most expensive Disney meal ever.
If you're all looking to split the bill, it'll be less than $2,000 a person. Still pretty pricey though. That's, yeah, wow.
You can't afford not to be a member. I don't know how else to say it.
Getting into one of my most hyperfixation topics of life, something that I love to talk about and I'm very excited to discuss, is Club 33.
Club 33 is a secret private membership club that exists only within Disney parks.
It's for Disney fans. It was started by Walt Disney himself over in Disneyland. It is extended to the Walt Disney World parks.
You can join this membership club. You have to be recommended by another member first. and then you pay a membership fee, which is sizable, and then you pay an annual fee on top of that, which is also quite sizable.
They have little areas throughout all of the parks that you can only get into if you are a member of Club 33.
Now, inside these lounges, you can grab drinks, both alcoholic and non-alcoholic. You can grab really good food.
You get 50 single-day park tickets. You also get 5 VIP tours a year, which are incredibly expensive.
And as I like to say, and Quincy will laugh at me for saying this, but you can't afford not to be a Club 33 member. If you want to skip lines and get taken around the parks by a person in plaid who'll also drive you from park to park in a van and let you in backstage, I think this is the place for you, friend. You need to join Club 33.
I have never been inside of an exclusive Club 33 experience or event, but I've seen the doors and I look. Sometimes I tap my magic band.
I got to go to Club 33 for the very first time a couple months ago. I was invited, and it was really interesting and unique, and I felt like a poser the entire time. I felt so out of place.
I have never been to a Club 33 exclusive area or event, but another post that I've read for a lot on Disney Food Blog is when a Club 33 member that knows AJ did get to do a dinner inside Haunted Mansion, a dinner in Haunted Mansion, and a Haunted Mansion themed dinner with many of the Imagineers who developed Haunted Mansion, and then got to do a ride through where the Imagineers were standing in the ride and like jumping out and like waving and stuff.
I was blessed to go to Club 33 to celebrate my 7-year cancer-free anniversary. And I just have to say, it was unlike any dining experience I've ever had.
I've never been to a Club 33 exclusive event or place. I haven't. I know people who have. I know people who might become Club 33 members. So that'd be really cool.
I've been to a Club 33 one time. I was a guest of a member to the Club 33 here in Magic Kingdom. It's in Adventureland, and I had a great time. It was a miracle experience, something I never thought I would get to see, and I got to see it, and I got to have that experience.
The staff was so kind. Like, what can I get you? And do you want anything? And I was like, it's fine. I'll just be here. I'll just look at this painting for 45 minutes or something. I don't know.
If I had the cash, no question, I would pay for Club 33. No question at all. I can tell you my heart of hearts, yes, I would. The thought of being one of the most exclusive members of this private Disney experience, absolutely.
Yeah, I would love to become a member of Club 33. Are you kidding me? Yes. It's expensive, but I'd do it. Why? Because I'm bougie, 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 boo.
Like, they give you a bunch of stuff. So I'm wondering if it low-key might be worth it.
You can't afford not to be a Club 33 member. You can't. You have to do it. So yes, I would do it because I'm the type of person who would need all of those services. So yes, bring it.
You may say I'm a dreamer.
I will always find it interesting, the people who get married at Disney World.
Which is another thing I have looked at. And very quickly I said no because it would have basically, our whole budget would have been on about 10 people.
Oh yeah, you gotta be real rich to have a Disney wedding.
And that wasn't even, we would have had to cut siblings. So.
As someone who is actively planning a wedding right now, these prices don't sound that crazy. I'm gonna be honest with you, if you were planning a wedding in 2022 and you're like, it starts at $3,500? Okay, that's not that bad.
For 4 people with the bride and groom included. And that's for a 1-hour private ceremony with no cake, no food, nothing.
So I know that was supposed to be like some jarring, like, oh my gosh, it's $3,500 for an hour and only 4 people? And it's like, yeah. Have you seen what people pay for weddings now?
Now, if you're wanting to get married, in Magic Kingdom on Main Street, let's say, after park hours, that starts at about $50,000.
It's starting at $50,000. And if you want to get in Cinderella's carriage,
One of the most magical things I think that can happen in Disney World is seeing a bride go by in Cinderella's carriage. I am like, that's a real princess.
$3,000 more. Put the money down.
can I take a Uber? Listen, can I just take a Uber? The carriage costs too much.
Mickey and Minnie, or any of the characters, are wildly expensive, especially if they're there for a good amount of time. For like a half hour, it's about $1,600.
I think that is worth it.
I mean, I get that, because Minnie and Mickey are like Beyonce and Jay-Z of Disney. You know what I mean? They like the Obamas of Disney. I get it. So, that makes sense.
So that's what I'm doing. I'm having a $3,500 wedding with myself and someone else who I haven't met yet. Maybe you're the one. We're inviting 2 people. We're allowed 2 people at our wedding. Those people will be Mickey and Minnie.
Segueing into more expensive things, you knew we could not talk expensive Disney World and not talk VIP tours.
This is something I think is absolutely worth it. And if I had the money, I would do it every time I went to Disney World.
VIP tours are a thing that you can buy at Disney World. And for the standard VIP experience, you have to book minimum 7 hours, and the rates start at $425 per hour.
But the base cost can fluctuate. They've peaked at $625 and now can cost about $850 per hour with price increases. So you're looking at, for 7 hours times $850. I can't do math, but the editor can.
That's $5,950.
Wow, look how expensive that is at base.
I was able to go on a VIP tour experience, and it was the easiest way I've ever been to Disney World. I mean, there's a reason people pay this money and do it.
These tours are really cool. You get your own personal VIP tour guide who takes you around the park. You get like VIP seating to things like Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular. You're gonna be very, very close to the front. Great seats, don't have to do any waiting. You get to use the lightning lane for all attractions. You get to ride between the parks in like a private van with like waters and stuff. And you get to do whatever you want. If you want to eat Casey's Corner corn dog nuggets while you're spending the day in Hollywood Studios, they'll make it happen.
Because we're talking more expensive things, we do have to talk about the jeweled castles. They only made 50 of them.
I was literally in Crystal Arts earlier, and they told me that one of these just sold this week.
And they cost $250,000. $250,000. Who cares? You don't need a house. You need a jeweled castle.
There's $1,000 jeweled ears. We've seen them. I've seen them. I balked at them in Magic Kingdom.
But I would not be comfortable walking around the park with $1,000 sitting on my head.
Some of the citizen watches you can buy in Disney World cost up to $1,850.
You ever just need to tell the time and then go, oh, I'm rich, and then put your hand back down like I have money. Small reminder. That's what I do.
Disney World is expensive, and these things are extremely luxury-based offerings.
I think it's really cool that Disney offers this stuff, even the stuff that I might never be able to afford one day. It's really cool to learn about and talk about. So I think it's cool that Disney does offer these luxury experiences, and it's the kind of thing that it certainly makes sense that they do offer these experiences.
I did get to do Victoria and Albert's on my honeymoon, and it was really one of a kind. Probably won't get to do it again for a very long time, but it was very special, and it's a memory I'm gonna have for my whole life.
There's a lot of money that could be going towards charities and other causes and things like that, but every now and again, you do have to treat yourself. And if this is how you treat yourself, then treat on, okay? Just make sure you invite me, okay? If you go on the VIP tour, invite me. If you're staying in the castle, invite me, okay?
I can't ever say this word. Swarovski. How do you say it? Swarovski? Hold on, I gotta look it up. Swarovski? No, that's incorrect. S-W...
Swarovski.
Swarovski?
Swarovski.
Swarovski? So just by that, you can tell that I've never bought any
Swarovski.
Swarovski crystals before in my life. Now go watch our episode on our 2022 recap.